I see people coming in. I see people coming in. Welcome back. 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 Happy 4th of July, y'all. Let's get into the topic. But before we do that, I would like to say happy 4th of July to those who celebrate. I myself really do not. However, in a few hours, I am going to be going to a family member's house. She is barbecuing, and I'm definitely ain't going to turn down some free food. So we're going to get into the topic. On your way in, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of anytime I live stream in the future or anytime I post content. Also, if you would like to monetarily support your girl, my Cash App is pinned at the bottom of the screen, $Phoenix, PHOENIX 20137. What I want to say before I get into the topic is, if you guys, I do a lot of posting on my community wall. If you guys are interested in my opinion on certain things regarding the saga, then you guys can go to my community wall and see what I've been posting there. And I will be addressing the last post that I made last night later on tonight when I get back in. So let me get my shout outs. What's going on, me, us? Hey, Rosalind Crawford, No Love Lost, Talk Sweet to Scorpio Goddess Latte, Cheryl Wagner, Spicy Brown, Tabby, I'm Chosen. What's going on, girl? Hey, Tabby. Hey, Rakita. Hey, Aisha. Hey, Blueberry Boots. Hey, Lasandra, Cancer 66, Tramiel, Jazzy Red, Treasure Life, Kiana with the Q, Rebecca, Stephanie Landry. Welcome, you guys. Let's get into the topic. So if you guys are not familiar with a podcast here on the YouTube platform that streams through the Fox Soul Network, there is a show that I am so obsessed with called Tea-G.I.F Friday. If you guys have been keeping up, you know that they have been going through a lot of different co-hosts. Now, the main co-host that have remained on the show is Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds. Now, Funky Dineva used to be on the show. However, he left the show, and he also addressed that on his YouTube channel, on his platform, basically stating that he wasn't in agreement with the salary within the contract, so he chose not to return. There was a lot of speculation around why Funky Dineva left. A lot of people thought that he left because there was drama between himself and the other co-hosts. However, during that time, apparently, as he says, that was not true, and it was simply a disagreement about the salary and the contract. He felt like they weren't making enough, and to be quite honest, Funky Dineva does quite well on his own YouTube platform. He probably gets more views and more traction on his own podcast than he did on TGIF Friday. So for those of you guys who are unaware of what's going on right now, as I said, the main characters of the show, the main host of the show was Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan. Now, after Funky Dineva left, they were rotating between different hosts. I think they did Lunell. They did I can't remember the other lady's name. If you guys can remember, dropping in the comments. They did Lunell. They did I know who she is, but I can't just think of her name as of right now. And the most recent one, and they had a lot of different ones. Like they had Dr. Heavenly from the show Married to Medicine. They had a lot of different hosts on the show. Recently, they added a very popular blogger from the YouTube platform named Armand Wiggins. Now, when I tell y'all, I really, really, really like Armand. However, when I found out that Armand was going to be a permanent fixture within the show, I did not agree. Reason being is because there's a difference between blogging on a YouTube platform where really you make your own rules. You don't have to be politically correct. You can say what you want, how you want, your views. You don't have to worry about whether or not your views will offend the masses. And I really just feel like Armand is the type of person. What's going on, Sean? Hey, Miss Andy. Hey, Miss Fela, Kimberly Mills, Ruby Dixon, Twin Girl. Hey, everybody coming in. I really feel like Armand just wasn't a good fit because he is just way too raw and uncut. Now, let me just real quick, for those of you who don't know what's going on with the drama, I'm going to pull up a really quick article from Sandra Rowe's website. So it really just basically gives an overview. Now, I want to explain that I want to say about a week ago, Armand took to his platform because there was a lot of speculation that because Armand roasted Al, because they had a roast set up for the show, due to the fact that he roasted him on that show, and Al was upset about the things that were said in the roast, that is the reason why the show was taken off air. Armand came onto his platform and said that is not true, that actually the show had previously planned to go on a break, and those that were the hosts were going on their own separate vacations or whatever. So if you ask me, I feel like Armand was really just trying to cover up the real reason why the show was taken off air, because they were in talks behind the scenes about what they were going to do to rectify things so everybody could cool down and then come back, and the show would continue. But it seems to me like they couldn't come to an agreement about their feelings on what happened on that day. Now, I'm going to play the roast in a minute, but before I do that, let's get into what happened. So here on the Sandra Rowe's website, it kind of just explains that Fox Soul's Tea-G.I.F gossip web series has been canceled weeks after the show went on hiatus. Now, the hiatus was when everybody was gossiping about why the show was canceled. The drama began when comedian Lunell appeared on the web series co-hosted by Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and Armand Wiggins. Lunell violated TGIF policy when she asked Al if he ever came out as gay to Star Jones before they got married. Now, if y'all wondering, this is the host, Al Reynolds, and this is Star Jones. Most of y'all know Star Jones. They were famously married for quite a few years. They ended up getting divorced. And there's a lot of speculation on whether or not Al ever told Star Jones that he was homosexual, bisexual, whatever, before they ended up getting married. Okay, because Star Jones has been in a couple of interviews where she alluded to the fact that she was unaware of that. According to sources, a written policy forbids staff. Now, this I find interesting. This article, and not only does the article say this, but Claudia has said this, and also Armand has said this as well. According to sources, a written policy forbids staff and guests from mentioning Star Jones' name on the show at all. Jones previously sent a cease and desist to the show's producers. Al was mortified by Lunell's question. "Oh my goodness, I have never been not truthful with anybody that I've dated," he said. He added, "I have always been very honest with all of my partners about my sexuality. At the time that I date them, I've been very open and honest about my sexuality." Let's go. Well, let's finish the article really quick because I'm going to play with you guys the interaction between Lunell and Al in a minute. Lunell also broke a second rule, that Al's sexuality is off limits unless he brings it up. I find that quite interesting because it is crazy to me that they always conveniently find a co-host that is a part of the LGBTQ community. And when everybody knows that Funky Dineva is very vocal about his sexuality and being a part of the LGBTQ community, they've had transgenders as co-hosts, and it seems like they purposely choose that community to be a placement or a placeholder as the co-host on the show. Now, after Funky Dineva left, there was another transgender woman that was on there. I even think Ms. Netta was on the show at one time. Armand Wiggins is openly a homosexual male. So I just find it strange that Al is so reserved when it comes to speaking on his sexuality in particular. I've also noticed that Claudia Jordan is she's very open about how she feels about the LGBTQ community. She's shared a lot of negative remarks in the past during the airing of the show. Hold on one second, y'all. So I just find that piece of information a little strange. Al says that he's always open been open about his sexuality with Star Jones when they were married, but I don't believe that because I've seen a couple interviews where Star has alluded that she didn't know. And then also Al seems like he is still kind of struggling to accept the fact that he is a homosexual male or bisexual male. Either way, he ain't straight. Al was reportedly upset and allegedly blamed Claudia Jordan for arguing Lunell to ask Al about his ex-wife. So let's stop it there. And I want to play really quick the interaction between Lunell and Al during that time. Y'all, this is crazy. Let's see. Let's bring it up really quick. And y'all, this is getting hot. The tea is getting hot around this story because Claudia, for the past few days, has been very vocal about what's going on, or what had happened behind the scenes as far as the downfall of the show. So this video right here is when Lunell came on the show, and everybody who doesn't know who Lunell is, she's a comedian. She's been in the industry for years, and she is known for her very raw and uncut delivery with her comedy. And anytime she's on an interview, she just is who she is. So she probably wasn't a good fit to have on the show either. So within this exchange, they're talking about men being open and honest, or men that are a part of the LGBTQ community being open and honest about their partners, about their sexuality. So here we are.
And factors around this.
Right, because look,
You have your opinion, I have mine.
no, but look, Al was married to Star.
That's
and
true,
he's
but never
really
told.
talking about how gay he is on this show. Did you come out and expose yourself to Star when you first got married?
Oh my goodness. I have never been not truthful with anybody that I've been.
Oh, so Star knew she married a gay man.
I've talked about this on this platform before.
Oh.
I have always been very honest with all of my partners about my sexuality. When I date all of them. At the time that I date them, I've been very honest and open about my sexuality.
Okay.
All right, we're going to end on that note. We're going to go to break. Coming up next, it's time for what we cop and what we let flop.
Oh.
Wow.
Joint, because my nerves.
We'll find out what we will do in crazy situations, but we just had one. We'll be right back.
Okay, so as you can see, that's Armand down there. At that time, I don't believe that he was a permanent fixture on the show. So as you can see, he was very uncomfortable with that question. Lunell was not letting up on him. And I think the reason is because there has been a lot of speculation and a lot of talk around the fact that when Al Reynolds was married to Star Jones, that she did not, in fact, know that he was a homosexual or a bisexual male or a part of the community. So that is, I believe, one of the reasons why that question, number one, he didn't want it addressed. Number two, Star doesn't want her name on the show. So that's the other part to it. And number three, he does not like talking about his sexuality. Anytime a topic arises surrounding the LGBTQ community, he doesn't speak negatively about the community, but you can just kind of always tell he's a little uncomfortable. So I really don't know what that's about, right? So let's get back to the article. And finish reading the article, but I just wanted to share that video as reference. So let's get back to the article. Okay, then during Al's birthday roast, his co-host Armand insulted Al by claiming that Al is jealous, two-faced, and attempting to sabotage the show. Al's got, and then it goes on to say a little bit what Armand said, but I'm not going to read that because I'm going to actually play what Armand said during that birthday roast. Al's nerves were already shot. He called his former co-host Funky Dineva, who was on his own live stream at the time. Now, if you guys missed that, I'm gonna play that too. After the birthday roast, Al kind of tried to make it seem like he was cool with it, like it didn't bother him, and he said that he loved it. But then directly after they went off air, Funky Dineva was on air on his YouTube podcast, and Al called Funky Dineva while he was live. Funky Dineva had Al on speakerphone. Everyone heard what Al said that was in the live stream, and he was very upset. He used a bunch of expletives. He was mad. So obviously he put a front on, basically making it seem like he didn't care, but his true feelings were he did not like the fact that he was roasted by Armand And I think what he was bothered by was that a lot of the things that Armand said were true. And I do believe that Al does have personality conflicts when it comes to certain people. Now, I've watched his behavior on the show over the years, and Al just does not seem like a, hold on a second. Al doesn't seem like an easy person to get along with, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples why. Give me 1 second. So there was also a situation where, let me know if I'm clear, y'all. Drop a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. Drop a 1, drop a 1, drop a 1. I'm gonna pull up this other video. Now, this particular video was when Al Reynolds kind of got into it and was going back and forth with Dr. Heavenly. Like I said, Dr. Heavenly is one of the fixtures on the show, Married to Medicine. That was a really heated exchange. So I'm gonna play that, and I'm playing that because it is crazy to me that the show really was canceled because Al did not like the things that Armand said to him on air, when Al is very rude to people on air. He's very rude to his co-host. He's very sensitive. You have to tiptoe around his feelings. And I'm not quite sure. I think a lot of this is going to start coming out, but I'm not quite sure what his relationship is with the producers of that show. But it does seem like they kind of cater to him in certain ways. So let me pull up this exchange that he had with Dr. Heavenly. Mind y'all, I love me some Dr. Heavenly. Let's pull this up. Now, this particular exchange was a conversation about whether or not men should be financially responsible for the whole household, not only take care of the children, but also take care of their woman, what they're expected to provide on the first date. They were talking about all of that. Now, Al Reynolds and Dr. Heavenly disagreed on the topic, right? And I felt like Al got way more upset than he should have, because regardless, you're inviting people on the show, you're asking people for their opinions, and I thought it was really, really ridiculous and in bad taste to really attack this lady for her opinion. And I was so confused as to why it turned into an argument. So let's play this.
I'm not gonna stop making my money, okay? If I was a woman, I wouldn't stop doing that. But I'm not gonna sit up here on my good end. If I was a woman, I would, who are out here trying to do their best.
No, you're not gonna put that on me. What I'm saying is live in a house.
Man, get out of here, Dr. Heaven. Get out of here now. You ain't gonna pussy pop and backpedal on this show. We're not gonna do that on this show, Dr. Heaven. You back here backstroking right now. What you said was that a man who could not pay 20% was your bitch.
First of all, he's supposed to be a professional person. This is a guest on TG. I did not like how this interaction went down. Just because, now I'm not saying like it's one of those shows, it's a very casual show. However, if you have a guest on your show, and I don't even think Dr. Heavenly at the time was a guest. I think they were actually considering making her one of the co-hosts. But she got into it with Al, so she lost her chance at that. Like I said, I don't know exactly what type of relationship that Al has with the people behind the scenes, but he got something going on to where he got some sort of pull. He had some sort of pull within that show. I don't know if it's his connection with Star Jones. I know that he has a lot of connections with different people in the industry due to being married to Star Jones. That could have something to do with it. But it just seems like he's able to just do whatever he wants, say however he wants, react to people however he wants. However, Al wants people to tiptoe around him. And I don't like that. So let's finish the rest of this exchange.
Bitch. And a man ain't your bitch. If he's a bitch, he shouldn't be in your house.
No, he wouldn't be.
Well, good. That's you. That's you. That's you, Dr. Heavenly, and I can respect that. That's all.
The marriages do not work for all.
They don't have.
All right, y'all listen.
Mind you, he's sitting up here arguing with a woman that's been married probably a little bit over 30 years, and he's divorced, couldn't keep his marriage together. And she's trying to tell, and not only that, but this is why I'm not saying that he wasn't qualified, but I felt like Dr. Heavenly was a little bit more qualified because they're speaking on the dynamic of a man and woman relationship, which would be a heterosexual relationship. So I feel like she's a little bit more qualified to speak on that topic because she's a heterosexual woman married to a heterosexual male. And I think that she has more experience with that dynamic. Al, on the other hand, is a halfway closeted homosexual or bisexual man. So who was married to a woman and had to get a divorce from that woman because of his sexuality. I don't understand why he felt like he could argue her down on this topic.
Ceasefire. Listen, y'all can tell this was a very heated discussion, and I wish we had. Hold on, Emily. I wish we had more time. I like to thank Dr. Al Reynolds for everything for joining us tonight.
Al is a loose cannon. He is a loose cannon, and this is the perfect example of people just being able to do what they not being able, but what will I say? What's the best term? This is an example of people being put in positions that they shouldn't be in and that they're not qualified for just because of who they know. Again, he was married to a very powerful woman at the time within the industry. So Al has connections to a lot of different celebrities, and he never fails to remind the audience of how many celebrities that he knows. So I think that that is the reason why Al is able to basically terrorize the guests that come on this show. Now that was just one example, but there's been several instances where I felt like Al handled certain guests or temporary co-hosts wrong and was very nasty to these people. Now, I'm going to play the roast that Armand did. Mind you, Al knew that he was going to be roasted. He knew that they were doing the birthday roast. We all know Armand. Armand is not going to hold back. Where is it? I'm trying to find the actual. That's not it. Okay. You know what, you guys? Before I play the roast, I'm gonna play this video, and we're gonna play. I want to say that this particular video was. I want to say that this was a video that Armand streamed on Instagram. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so let's see. You
want the roast was, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like the roast didn't do it.
So that's Armand saying that the roast is not the reason that the show was canceled. However, we now know that that is the reason the show was canceled, that Al was outraged about the roast. And he just didn't want the audience to know that he is extremely sensitive when it comes to him. But he's allowed to talk to and treat people and raise his voice however he chooses to. And to be quite honest, after I play the roast, I think you guys are going to understand why he was so upset about it. A lot of the things that Armand said in that roast, I think has some truth to it. Let's forward this. Sorry, y'all. This is let me try to skip past all of this stuff. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Was, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like the roast didn't do it.
Welcome back to T. Jones.
I don't want to play her commentary. I just want to hear what he said. So give me 1 second.
Tea-G.I.F. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow morning at some point. I'm definitely gonna give you the Pete on story time. But I'm good.
Now he streamed this video before he streamed his YouTube video. So on this Instagram live stream, he's basically telling his people, I'm going to explain to you guys what happened, why the show is on hiatus. The show was not canceled, and it's not canceled because I roasted Al. Nobody's mad at each other. There is no beef. And then later on, he went on YouTube and also spoke more on the topic, saying basically the same thing. We know now that this video that Armand was doing was basically, I want to call it damage control to a certain extent, because what it is that the show was on hiatus because Al was pissed off. So they didn't cancel it right away. They put the show on hiatus so that those three co-hosts could go behind the scenes and see if they can come to some sort of understanding. According to Claudia Jordan, and she said this on camera, Armand refused to apologize to Al. Armand said, okay, Al, my roast hurt your feelings, but there have been times on this show that I have been uncomfortable by some of the things that you've said, and there have been no repercussions for you. There's been times that my feelings were hurt. There were times I was put in situations and things were said to me that I didn't like, and I had to eat it. Why do we have to bow down to Al Reynolds? And I think that Armand has the type of personality where he is not going to bow down. He's going to say what he's going to say. He means what he says. He's raw and uncut. And this is the reason why when he announced that he was going to be a permanent fixture on TGI Friday, I said immediately it was a horrible idea. It's not going to last, because Armand is not for mainstream, period, point blank. There's nothing wrong with being a YouTube podcaster. There's nothing wrong with running your own show. Armand is the type of personality where he needs to be his own boss. That's just it. That's all. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Armand, but he most definitely, his personality is way too big for a show like TGI Friday, because TGI is way too censored. You're not going to tell me that this is a show where we basically play the dozens with each other. We're messy and we talk about messy celebrity news, but then you give me a list of things that I can't mention. And I just didn't think that he was a good fit for that show due to those reasons.
Do you regret the Ponderosa? I'll keep telling you guys this. The roast, if you want, the roast was, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like, the roast didn't do it. I have to be honest with you. The roast did not finish the show. But I just feel like telling y'all that most of y'all want to believe that the roast killed the show. So at this point, shit, the roast killed the show. You just have to wait till I tell you. But I'm not really in a rush to try to explain myself.
He couldn't tell anybody what ended the show because the roast did end the show. And I feel like Armand probably shouldn't have said anything at all. You know that the roast is the reason why the show ended. So you should have just left it alone. I wouldn't have even addressed it. I just would have let people speculate until TGI Friday made their final decision. But I think that Armand felt compelled to come out and try to explain himself. Even when Al wasn't saying anything, I don't even think Claudia was really addressing it too much. But I feel like Armand was the most vocal because Armand has a reputation of being basically shaking up the room. You know what I mean? He is like a bull in a china shop. His personality is through the roof. And a lot of people didn't have faith that he was going to do well on the show. And I think that he had a certain level of embarrassment that the show really only lasted, probably a month or so before it was canceled. And he didn't want it to be connected to his name. He already has so much negative things that people say about him online. There's so many podcasters that can't stand Armand, and a lot of people were saying that he was not going to succeed on this show. So I think that he felt like, damn, it's a bad look that so many people were doubting me. And I guess in a way they were right. I went on the show and boom, I went on there and ended it. It just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. So I think that's the reason why he was so active in trying to do damage control. What's going on, Sexy Ray? Hey, India. Hey, D-Ham. Hey, Caramel Cutie. Who else came here? Hey, Terry. Hey, Miss Lady. Protect your peace. Miss Andy. Hey, you guys. Okay, so let me finish up here.
Because A lot of people's minds are made up. But I do have receipts of what my issue was. Okay. That's it. That's it. You know? So if you believe that the roast was what it was, then you know what? You got it. The roast ended the show. But all I ask of you is this. If the roast ended the show, why did everybody get fired? Why not just fire me? I was the newest person there. If the roast ended the show.
Now that I will agree with him, but he's doing a lot of lying by omission. So when I say that, I mean he's telling half truths. So the roast did not end the show. However, the roast was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, if you listen to the roast, I'm gonna play it in a minute. There was a lot of things that he addressed about Al that alluded to the fact that there were already internal issues with behind the scenes. So no, the roast isn't the only thing that ended the show. The roast brought a lot of the internal issues from behind the scenes to the forefront, and Al didn't like that. So even though they had issues on the back end, those things could have been worked on, maybe tolerated, whatever. But due to the fact that when Armand did that roast, he brought all of the issues that they were having with Al Reynolds to the public eye. So the roast was the straw that broke the camel's back. Was it the only thing that ended the show? No. But the roast exposed the internal issues, which is why the show ended.
Why not just fire me? So you do that math equation. Y'all be on the lookout. Support these videos that I'm promoting, these Black promoters, these Black Pride promoters. If you're LGBTQ, New York City, stand up. Y'all showed so much love. I love y'all. And be outside this weekend. So again, I'm not getting into it on here because why would
if you weren't going to get into it, then why did you go live, girl?
I do that? I'm about to monetize my own story. I'm not going to do it for everybody to monetize my shit. Yeah, I know. I mean, y'all know the game. I mean, shit, I need a job. I need all my coins now, bitch.
I think Armand is handsome. He got the prettiest teeth.
No, for real. But just a little food for thought. If it was the roast, why didn't they just fire me? That's it.
They didn't just fire him because he's just the one that brought it to the forefront. However, there was already issues going on between him and Al, Claudia and Al. If you ask me, I think Al is the common denominator. Yeah, Armand is a loose cannon, but Al, it seems like, is the issue here. You all saw the video where he was going back and forth with Lunell. Well, not Lunell. Well, he was kind of going back and forth with Lunell, but he was really being disrespectful with Dr. Heavenly. And I felt like that put an air out to basically say, you can't have your own opinion. You have to be in agreement with Al. And if you're not in agreement with Al when you come on a show on whatever topic they're discussing, then you run the risk of being ripped up, embarrassed. So let me get to, give me 1 second, you all. Let me pull up this video so that you guys can kind of see what, for those who haven't seen, what Armand said. Give me 1 sec. Let's pull it up. Hey, Robin. Hey, So Pretty Jern. Thank you for that. I'm chosen. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. I thought the roast was epic, in my opinion. I thought the roast was epic because you got to think, Is this it? Okay, this is it. You got to think. And I got this my source from a podcast called The Messy Sweet Spot. One of my channels that I follow. I love that podcast. But they had basically all the receipts in this video. So I'm gonna fast forward to the roast. And then we're also gonna play the audio of when Al did call in to Funky Dineva's show. And when I tell you he showed out, baby, he showed out. Let me fast forward it. Hold on. Okay. Armand went in, baby. Let's see. I'm gonna play a little bit of what Claudia said too. Okay, let's see. Let me take this down. Hey, Mr. Troy, what's going on? What's going on? Let's pull this up real quick. Okay, is this it? Here we go. All right, so in this footage, this is the actual roast where Armand went in on Al. To me, the roast was I think Al was pissed because the roast was so personal. It was so personal. And some of the things that he roasted him about, it really spoke on Al's character. And Al did not like that. So let's go ahead and let me hit play. Let me take this off mute.
You know, and he hasn't really been high energy lately anyways. So it wasn't like a big difference. Like, he just was like, all right, you know. And then after, you know, we kind of sat on the Zoom, like we do like a meeting afterwards sometimes. And then he said he thought it was disgusting. But he also said on the show that he loved it and he loved every minute of it. You know?
We're celebrating our very.
Yeah, that's the part that I find interesting, because I did watch the roast. I don't miss an episode. I did watch the roast, and he tried so hard to act unbothered, and then he was just kind of like, "Oh, I love it, I love it." It was so phony. Then directly after, he calls Funky Dineva. So let me press play. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let's see.
Own Al Reynolds' birthday. Al, you're a man of many talents, some of which include being messy, causing drama, and having a knack for making our workplace feel like a reality TV show. Al's got a unique ability to smile in your face, snap a picture, and go behind your back and talk about you to your coworker that he claims he hates. It's like he's got a PhD in two-faced studies. Okay. Due to Al's special relationship with management and his hypersensitivity, we are not allowed to talk about his failed marriage. So even though he's brought it up many times, I'll steer clear of that topic to keep my job. Now, but wait, there's more.
See how he put that on blast? Now, that is one thing that I didn't know until recently, that anybody that came on the show had to sign an agreement not to speak on his marriage with Star Jones. He put it on blast. Now, a roast is a roast, but the fact that he put that on blast, Al did not like that. He did not like that.
Al fancies himself as the facts guy, but somehow he never seems to get the actual facts right. He's also a talk show host who's supposed to have all the strong opinion. The guy can't form a thought without his notes. Seriously, I've seen grocery store lists with more spontaneous insight. And let's not forget his legendary struggle with names and words. Al, it's successful, not successful. It's like watching a toddler trying to pronounce spaghetti. Oh, and how could I forget Al's clout chasing antics? He's got all these celebrities friends, but the best part, none of these celebrities actually know they're supposed to be friends with him. And as if that wasn't enough, Al is currently on a mission to get our talk show canceled. His nasty child is slightly jealous.
Look at his face. When he said that, when I tell you, blew my edges back, girl. Blew my edges back, girl. I said, so first of all, the fact that he said that lets us know that there was tension behind the scenes. Because if Armand is a new co-host, and this must be something that Claudia already knows, he said that Al is on a quest to get their show canceled. That I'm still not understanding, because why would you be trying to get a show canceled that you're on, that you're being paid to do? I don't understand. I don't know if Armand is saying that he's sabotaging the show with his behavior, or if he is literally trying to get the show canceled. So that I'm still like on the fence about, like, what is that about? So before this happened, he's saying that Al has been trying to sabotage the show.
Working overtime to torpedo our show. It's like he's auditioning for a soap opera villain role. But despite all the chaos, let's not forget it's your birthday, Al. Okay? So here's to you. May your future be as drama-free as your past has been drama-filled. Happy birthday, Al.
Now, that was a hard one. Hey, Alexis, talking about some Barbara Walters. Welcome, Alexis. Happy 4th, everybody coming in. Hey, Lux. Hey, no love lost. How you doing, Gregory? Thank you for your insight. Hey, good morning, gorgeous. Did I miss anybody? Let me see. Hey, Dominica. Okay. So after that, Rose, Al tries to make it seem like he loved it during the show. And then he takes to his live. And I almost feel like during this particular live, it was almost like he was trying to seem like, or somehow garner some sort of sympathy. Like nobody felt. I hate when people do that. Like he's trying to make it seem like people should be feeling bad for him or are feeling bad for him. But in reality, a majority of the people that watched the roast thought it was funny. I think Al is the only one that had an issue with it.
Listen, one thing you're not going to do is, and you guys should know this about me by now, especially I'm a Gemini, you're not going to stop my joy. If you watched my lives after what happened on my birthday, you would know.
You're talking about after what happened on my birthday, like something so traumatic happened to him. You got roasted, dude. Like, okay, you got roasted. A roast is supposed to focus on personal things about you. That's why it's a roast. If you ever look at celebrity roast, they pick out things that you actually do, what you actually look like, situations that you've actually been in, and they make fun of it. That's the point of a roast. His ass is just too damn sensitive. He's too sensitive.
Know that I was in Virginia, surrounded by my family. And baby, they came out by the hundreds to support me because they all saw it, and that's just how I grew up. Like,
you expect us to believe that your family members came out by the hundreds because you got made fun of on a roast?
Hold on before you talk. I'm on live.
Hold on. Okay, so this audio. Hold on, one real quick, y'all. So the audio. Now, did y'all see that? How he was trying to make it seem like, oh, thank you, Terry. He was trying to make it seem like, oh, my family's, after what happened to me, my family came out by the hundreds and they supported me, and you can't steal my joy. And get over it. Like, you got roasted. He acting like something like so traumatic and bad. What did she say? It was drama when Funky Dineva was there. That's part of it. Actually, I don't know, Lux Pearl, because I watch Funky Dineva avidly, and Funky Dineva has never really addressed any drama on the show that I have seen. If I'm missing something, y'all let me know and I'll go check it out. But for the most part, I've heard Funky Dineva basically say that there was issues within the contract due to his salary. He does playfully throw shade at them here and there because he's no longer on the show. But I've never really heard him say that he's had any drama. Does that mean he hasn't had any? I don't think so. I think that there was some internal issues with him and his co-host while he was on a part of the show too. I just haven't really heard him address it. So what I'm getting ready to play now is directly same day after he was on the show and said that he loved the roast, he calls Funky Dineva, because him and Funky Dineva are still cool. He calls Funky Dineva and he's pissed. Mind you, while he's on the phone with Funky Dineva is live streaming on his YouTube platform. So all of the people in the chat heard Al going off. So they directly went from from Funky Dineva's live straight over to Tea-G.I.F Friday to see the roast, to see what happened. So here's his true feelings on what he felt about the roast. Mind you, Funky Dineva ain't nobody friend. Funky Dineva ain't no good. Had the man on speaker. When I would have heard he was that upset, I probably would have took him off speaker. But hey, views.
before you talk.
No,
Hold on, I'm on
you need to
live.
hear this. You need to hear this on live.
Hold on, people can hear you.
I don't give a fuck. When I tell you go back and watch Tea-G.I.F tonight,
what happened?
Go back and watch Tea-G.I.F tonight
messy.
and call me back.
All right, bye.
He said, I thought it was great. Ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand that could be saving face at the time. I get that.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was his true feelings. Now, we're going to continue to watch what happens with this situation. I think that a lot of things are going to be coming out. Y'all heard my opinion on the topic. I feel that Al was being a little bit too sensitive. I think that Al thinks that because he does have connections within the industry, that he's kind of allowed to say what he wants, do what he wants, feel how he wants, and deliver his message how he wants. However, he doesn't think that his co-host should have those same liberties, and I don't think that that's right. And I do think that that brought a lot of attention to the show. This is what Claudia said that Armand said, and I agree with if Armand said this, he is 100% correct. She goes on to say that all of them have been uncomfortable at a certain point while on that show. But Al, because of his feelings, not only did he dismantle the entire show because he didn't want to come to a common agreement, apology, and understanding, or just understand where Armand was coming from, but he also sabotaged their livelihoods and income. So everybody got to suffer because Al Reynolds' feelings are hurt. That's just not a good look, Al.
Yeah, we've all been uncomfortable. That's kind of been what was magic about TGIF. We've all had our moments where we've been made to feel uncomfortable, but then we were able to laugh and power through. We're just not in the same place, you know? So that's the difference, you know? And it got into a big thing. And then, you know, it seemed like best to just like take a little break, a breather. And, you know, we already had this break scheduled, and then we just like got an extra couple weeks to like, let's just figure this out, like just cool things off and just figure it out.
No. So as you can see, she said they've all been in situations where they've all had their feelings hurt. They've all been uncomfortable. They've all been put in that situation. And she said that was kind of the magic behind their show, because they were all being put in that position and they all had to kind of power through that. Not only that, but I kind of think that it adds a little bit of character. It adds a little bit of tough skin. And from what I hear, that's what you need in order to be in the industry. But it seems like Al is kind of used to being babysat. He's used to his feelings being babysat, and he's used to being catered to. And I don't think that this is a good look for him moving forward. I am interested in seeing what direction that all of these people are getting ready to go. Armand, I think, is going to be successful regardless, just due to his powerhouse personality. Claudia, I think, is going to be successful regardless because of the experience that she has in the industry. She also, y'all let me know in the chat, she also had a show on TGI Friday, but I stopped watching it. It was with her, Selena, the singer from Chicago. I want to say Kiki White. I don't know. Vivica A. Fox was a part of the show. Do y'all remember the name of that show that was on Fox Soul? I used to love it, and I just stopped watching it. But anyway, I think that she'll be fine. Al, I think, will be fine as well. But I don't think that he'll be fine because he's so talented and he just has so much of what it takes. I think that he'll be fine because he's going to be coddled by whatever, you know, connections or people that he knows within the industry. So to sum it up, I think they'll all make it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this drama, whatever else comes out surrounding this TGIF Fox Soul drama. And I will also be live later on today once I get back in the house, because we're going to discuss a little things about this sector. Okay. We're going to talk about a couple of things about this sector, the content creators, the dynamic behind the reasoning behind why some people are choosing to cover this story, why people are choosing not to cover this story, and why people have switched up on us. We're going to talk about it all because I have an idea that I know why. Then we're going to also cover a little bit of Brianna's live that she did I want to say it was a few hours ago. It might have been yesterday, but I just saw it on her Facebook page. I'm going to be breaking down that live that she did where she's talking about copyright strikes and all of that other foolishness. So you guys enjoy the rest of your 4th. Be safe. Don't drink too much. Don't smoke too much. Don't eat too much. And make sure that you make it in the house safely and do not drive under the influence. I want to see everybody back here tonight. If you can make it, hit the like button on your way out. Also, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of anytime I live stream in the future or anytime I post content. Make sure that you are subscribed, but make sure that you have a membership, because I was supposed to do a members only live this Wednesday, but there was a lot going on yesterday, so I wasn't able to do it. So I'm gonna try to either catch up on Saturday or Sunday with a members only. If you would like to monetarily donate to my channel before you guys get out of here, my Cash App is pinned at the bottom, $Phoenix 20137. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.